Okay, here we have our door top, which is like sheet aluminum. These little holes here, there's little tabs bent over. These are already bent up. They're already bent up. I got under them with a little screwdriver and needle nose. Most of them are good. Some of them broke off. But yeah, you got to do that. Bend those tabs up because the new cardboard's going to be tapped down onto it. It's going to be set over it and then tapped down onto it. And then next step, we're going to line this card up and get ready to secure it to the aluminum. Okay, so right here's our new door card. LMR Mustang. I think they're like $50 a pair. You can see the cutout for the power switch, cutouts for the pull handle and the power door lock. Right there's the holes for the mat pocket and the push pins that go around the side. So the next step is we're going to line this up and secure it to the aluminum. So see that crimped edge or that corner there? I'm going to push it right up against that. Well, this goes on the bottom side. I'm going to push it up against that. Get it lined up with the vinyl. And then I'm going to eventually drill a hole through that and pop rivet it. But as you see, I'm going to line all this up to make sure the card's in the right place. And then we will... Okay, as you can see, this is lined up. The thing I'm going to do now is attempt to clamp it and drill the holes through the card and use a 1/8 pop rivet to line it up. And that is the next step. I have the vinyl wrapped over the door top's in. Everything's seemingly lined up. Thing is to not move it, get that vinyl off, drill some holes. That's next. So I got this thing in position and I marked it with a marker in 3 places. There, there, and there. And it lines up with my openings in my vinyl. So I'm going to go ahead and get my drill out and a 1/8 bit and get ready to set some rivets in it. The cardstock, pop riveted on. Everything seems to line up. There's a rivet there, and rivet there. And now the next thing to do, we're going to go along and tap the board down with a body hammer onto the metal. Okay, so what we're looking at, we have our door panel cardstock grafted to our aluminum. We straighten those little holes out on the back side, and they have sharp little teeth. And then I went and I took this piece of railroad tie iron and I laid this down like so. Felt underneath for the straight edge, and then I went along tapping it down with a body hammer, and you could sort of see where the teeth are poking through the cardboard from the previous step of straightening the teeth on the holes. There's our evidence of our pop rivet to hold it in place. There's a little washer I made out of aluminum coil stock. There's the other pop rivet. So as a recap, place the cardstock up to this line, marked it with 3 places with a marker. Lined everything up with the openings in our vinyl, and then pop rooted in place, flipped it over, and hammered it down onto the teeth on the back side of these little drilled holes here. In the next step, we're going to put the vinyl on, and we're going to use a 3M spray adhesive and just spray around the top edges just like the factory. You can see the old glue. I did a little acetone work, wipe this off to give the new glue somewhere to stick. I'm not going to get too fussy about it, but we're just going to glue. We're going to spray glue here, all down through here, and then start gluing the vinyl back on, let that sit overnight. All right, so I'm punching the holes out now for the door handle. That's a 3 anchor point door handle. Goes there, there, and up there. And then there's the power lock switch. Over here is going to be the 4-way power window switch. Instead of trying to push this through my hand, I'm cutting through with a knife. Just trying to not mess anything up or warp anything. Want this door panel sit nice and flat when it's done. We are getting ready to spray glue, get this vinyl set overnight. Yeah, so yeah, you can see what I'm doing there. I'm just punching through with a utility knife. The more little tabs I cut, the more that comes out. It's pretty good cardstock. Really tough right there it goes. Alright, so there's all our switches and everything cut out. Next step, we're going to get ready to glue them on. Okay, so if you did everything right, lining up your cardstock, all your holes should line up. Not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad. 4-way power window switch, not bad. Alright, so I got this set in place. And I'm going to, I think I'm going to lay it face down, like so. And I want to go around and spray some glue around the edges. Get ready to glue the top. Okay, so this is what I'm using. 3M, high strength 90, spray contact adhesive. And you can see I peeled the vinyl still under there, but I peeled it back. I'm going to spray the edges. I got newspaper around so as to not overspray the vinyl with the glue. I just don't feel like spending hours cleaning this up when it's done. Already gonna need some cleaning, but I don't want to be scrubbing glue off it. Alright, so I'm gonna spray this on. Oh, I don't know if you could see that. I'm gonna let it sit. And it's going all over the place, but not much worse than what the factory did originally. I'm gonna let it sit for a few minutes, and then I will come back and place the vinyl. Place the vinyl and then let it sit overnight. Thing is to place it, get it to stick tight, and make sure all the holes are lined up. So tight, no wrinkles, all the holes lined up. So we're gonna wait a few minutes and then come back and work this. So I don't have a tripod, I'm holding this camera. I'm gonna attempt to work this and hold the camera, but there may be times when I have to put the camera down or just do this. You can see what I'm doing, I hope. You can see what I'm doing. I just got the camera hanging around my neck. I'm working this. So I'm going to flip it up. Sometimes okay, so yeah, so we got it glued. We're trying to make sure everything's lined up and in place as this glue dries. There were staples in this. I don't have the original type staples. I'm gonna figure that out. I do have an electric staple gun, and I may have to improvise with it. But I don't have 1/4 inch staples. I got 3/8, and I might have to figure out a way to make them work. But yeah, I'm going around pressing the glue, the edges down against the glue, and hoping that nothing shifts. It feels pretty good so far. Everything seems to be lining up. One thing I'm thinking right now, I could put this power window switch in. That'll hold it in position. I want to avoid wrinkles up here at this top. Glue seems to be holding really good. And then they have what they call flexible super glue. Loctite makes it. They sell it at Walmart in the craft section. I gotta go get some of that. I was gonna pick all this stuff up, and then all the stay-at-home orders came out. I never made it back to Walmart yet, but I might chance it. Go there and get some, or order it off the internet, right? Yeah, that's it. Glued. We can almost sit and wait and work this tomorrow. I do have a new weather strip for the top too, and I got to figure out how to, if my electric stapler is going to push staples through aluminum with that. That'll be another step. Alright, so far so good. Might let this sit. Alright, so that's it. That's the glue, the top half. And just gluing it right back where the factory glued it, around the top edge. Okay, so what we got is our bottom carpet panel. We're going to have to install that and then cut out the power lock switch. I have an electric stapler here. I'm going to hang the camera around my neck and you can watch me do this. I am going to put one staple in the middle to locate it, and then I'm going to fold it back half and half and spray glue it. I got a 3/8 Arrow staples. This is a Home Depot Arrow stapler, electric. I'm going to staple it into a 2x4, and whatever of the 3/8 staple pokes into the wood, I'm going to bend over with a little body hammer here. Or I could try sticking a piece of metal under it and seeing if it just flattens on its own. That might be a better idea, but let me get it in position and we'll go from there. This is what we got going on. I got a 2x4 under there. You can see it in the hole in the 2x4. I'm going to stretch this up to there. I'm going to put a stapler somewhere right underneath the vinyl so it hides in the carpet, if that makes sense. I'm going to put a staple right where the tip of my finger, right up in there where I can push the carpet back over and hide it. Alright, I'm going to leave the camera rolling. We'll see how this goes. Okay, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a staple right there. And later on we're just gonna, and in theory that staple, yeah, see it went into the wood, so I'm gonna pull the 2x4 off the back and tap the staple over with a body hammer. For now, I got half of it back. I'm gonna spray glue. So you got some glue on there. I'm gonna let it sit. Okay, so right now we have some staples in all around the perimeter of the carpet, across the top, down the sides, back along the bottom. You really can't see them. I don't think it'll be too bad when it's on the car, but I just wanted a few staples in it in case the glue, the contact cement, would somehow let loose over the next, say, 3 to 5 years. So yeah, I mean, we're getting there. That's it. That's our rebuilt driver's side door panel. Okay, so what we're gonna do now, we're gonna put some pop rivets in along this weather strip. It was stapled on, as you seen in my disassembly video, this was stapled by the factory. My electric stapler will not punch through this metal, so I'm drilling and pop riveting it. I believe they're 5/32 rivets, or they're Chinese 1/8. All I know is I'm using the next size bigger than 1/8 drill to get the hole drilled. So I would recommend 1/8 rivets, but like I said, if you get Chinese rivets, they might not go through the hole because they're not exactly 1/8 of an inch. Whatever I'm using here is not 1/8 of an inch. Now, you should be able to see a little line there where the old chrome was. You kind of want to cover that up. I'm a little off, but I'm hoping when I put another rivet in that'll pull that over. You see how that's tightening up? If not, I'm gonna just go with it the way it is and try and scrub it clean. But yeah, I already have one on this end to locate it, one down on this end, and you'll pretty much know where it goes. The new one has this notch cut in it that kind of lines up with the notch in the panel. You know, it's a repop, it's not a factory part, so it's not exactly like the old one, but it fits and it works. All right, I'm gonna drill some holes, and I will come back and show you the pop riveting process. Okay, so what we're looking at here, we're looking at a 1/8 rivet and a pop rivet gun. For those of you that don't know how to use this, I'm going to attempt to explain. This here is spring loaded, so you will open it and stick the rivet in through the front. And then, I don't know if you see, I'm going to release the pressure on the spring-loaded back handle down onto the shank of the rivet. What you have is a loaded rivet gun. Now this rivet gun I've had for like 35 years, or, well, I'm not that old. 30 years, 25 years. I drilled a hole right there. So there's a piece of metal running through this weather strip. So it's rubber sandwiched, a piece of metal sandwiched between rubber. So drilling a hole in it, at some point you're going to go through metal, and then we are going to rivet it to the metal frame of the door. So I'm pushing it through. I'm going to feel back here. I feel my rivet coming through the frame of the door on the back side. I'm going to start squeezing and opening and getting another bite. Squeezing again. You'll feel the rivet gun biting. Each time you squeeze it, you're pulling the shank through. So I'm just releasing and squeezing. There we go, we get a bite. Like I said, this is an old rivet gun, but it still works. It's an old made in USA. And there's a shank. So what is this? This is a Rivet-All Riveter, model number CT2, click fast. And like I said, a Marson, Chelsea, Massachusetts. This is an old American made. I bought this back in the 80s or early 90s. I don't even remember. So yeah, it's an old tool, but it works. I'm going to keep drilling holes. We'll get this done. I have 1, 2. Look, I got like about every 8 inches I'm going to do it. Maybe I'll put 2 more in this span from here to here. I might put 2 more rivets in. I want to have at least 5 rivets in it, and we'll see how it holds up. I was thinking another thing I could do is use weather strip adhesive, but I didn't want to get into all that because it's white, and I don't want black glue or any kind of glue seeping out on the front side. So I'm going to try this rivet thing. For some reason it doesn't hold up, I'll have to go back over it with screws or glue, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, so we got our weather strip at the top riveted on, sun shining through the window there. Let's see. Got our weather strip riveted on. One thing I did This is low budget racing, right? So I'm using white rivets for white aluminum. I'm going to take a Sharpie. I'm going to go around and color them all black. You really can't even see that one there. It's just for those people that are a little more anal, don't like that white. You can like color this stuff black, make it look a little more factory, if you will. Of course, a trained eye will know it wasn't factory. They're going to know it was stapled, but this kind of makes it all blend in, right? So the rivets seem to be holding good. Right here's a little hole I drilled, and that's going to sit empty. I had to remove it and redo it. Alright, so there we go. There's all our rivets blackened out with a Sharpie. You're never going to see it anyway. It's the inside of the door. Alright, so there it is. It's riveted on. Seems to be looking good along that edge. The rivets aren't sticking through too far in the back. I don't think it's going to be an issue fitting it back onto the car. But we shall see. I'm hoping there's no issues. But sometimes you're going along doing stuff like this. You don't know the issues till you put it on the car. But like I said, there's not much sticking through. So yeah, you don't want really long rivets that are going to stick through a lot. But yeah, that's it. Riveted on, feels solid. Like I said, it was an alternate method. If you have an upholsterer's tack stapler, you can try and drive staples through it again and bend them over. I didn't have that, so I just drilled and pop riveted. Low budget race and use what you got. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to go around these edges with Loctite Go-To glue. I'm not sure what I really want. It's flexible super glue. I'm going to see how this stuff works. And then I also have Loctite Gel Control super glue. What you don't want is that really liquidy super glue. I'm going to go around the edges here with this super glue, and I'm going to glue these edges down. And I'm probably going to use tape to hold it down, whereas you can see I used before. It'll be on the back side. So no harm, no foul. If a piece is left, you'll never see it on the car. But I'm going to go around with super glue and attempt to better stick these edges down. Anywhere it's sticking up. So I have some stuff here, I have some here. See that? So we're just going to go around, finishing touches there. That's okay. Another thing we'll do, I glued some of these edges. I got tape coming over the back here holding it. In the end, this will peel off. I'm going to, in between the staples, I'm going to go and put a dab of super glue in between the staples. Like so. Right here, the door handle will hold it down, but I'll still put some in here. This is gel super glue. It already began to stuck there. It's more of a better job. It'll hold this on, I'm hoping longer, in case, say, the contact cement under here wants to let loose on a hot day. So you can see how much this lifts up. So just a little bead of super glue. I don't plan on ever taking this apart again, but you never know. And it wasn't super glue to begin with. It was stapled with upholstery staples. So yeah. Just a little bit of gel super glue. more controllable, not as messy. There we go. I believe this is just about done. One thing I haven't mentioned is this grommet that goes around the door lock button. Right here. This is the old one. I'm going to reuse it. I basically got under here with a screwdriver, bent everything up, and got it out. Kind of like, you know, with the staples. Same principle. Little screwdriver, a hammer, needle nose pliers. Bend it straight. I'm going to put this back in here and then attempt to mash the ears over flat on the inside. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so if you haven't noticed, I figuring this out as I go and improvising the whole way. So we got that door lock grommet out, and I got it out by bending the tangs up. If you're working on one of these, you'll see it has, well, let me see if I can get around to the back side here. It has those, like a star, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 or 8 tangs. When I flatten that down, it's going to look like, oh man, what would it look like? It's going to look like a cog, a gear with 8 teeth. And I'm going to show you how I'm doing that. So I used a screwdriver to get under there and bend those up. And needle nose pliers to straighten them out. I pulled them through, taking it apart. I am using a dolly, and I'm holding it on this side. It's a heel dolly. And then I'll use the skinny end of my body hammer. And I'm on the other side, just on an angle, knocking those ears down. And I'm going around a circle. Just using my thin end of my body hammer, not